All right, let's move to some ACC action here with Virginia Tech beating Oklahoma State 70-65. I mean, the Hokies are on a roll. They're the real deal, Sweeney? What's going on here?
I think it's time to start talking about them as a legit ACC championship contender. I know they don't maybe have the top end talent that North Carolina, Duke, and Virginia have, but the way they played, like they were one shot away from beating Charleston on the road and being undefeated at this point, and probably being in everyone's top 15. Right. They've got legit wins. They beat Penn State on neutral court, blew out Dayton, handled North Carolina relatively easily, controlled today's game against Oklahoma State for the most part throughout. Mm-hmm. And I think the scariest thing is they still haven't shot the ball at a super high level from three. And this is a team that has legit shooters. Like Darius Maddox can really shoot it. Hunter Couture is one of the best shooters in the country. Padula has been awesome. Like they have three legit guards who can really make shots. One of the best glue guys in the country, and Justin Mutz, who had 6 steals today. And the transfer center, Grant Basile from Wright State, has been huge for them in replacing Keve Aluma. Like, to me, they might be the most overlooked team in the country in terms of how good they've been. And I think they have a real opportunity to be right there in the top of the ACC and contend for that conference championship.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I mean, I love Padula's game, man. Like the way he was playing, he got a little bit of Colin Gillespie in him a little bit. Like, he started posting up. He's a high IQ guard. And like when you have a player like that who is playing so aggressive and you know that he can score, but he has that IQ where he's looking to find guys, that's dangerous at all times. And then on top of that, their defense, like everything off of pick and roll, their rotations were great. They were perfect. Everyone was talking. They seem like super connected right now, which a lot of teams in college basketball this early just aren't.
Sure. Well, and they're holding teams to under 64 points a game, which is pretty good. What's impressive to me too is, I mean, I don't care what you say, like strength of schedule wise, but look, you just strung together wins in a row from Oklahoma State, Dayton, North Carolina, Minnesota, Charleston Southern. They had a 2-point loss to College of Charleston. They also beat Penn State earlier this year, who's kind of come out as really one of the dark horses potentially in the Big Ten. So they're winning tough games. And they're winning them early on, which is a time that we've seen across the country. A lot of teams are losing early on because the chemistry just isn't there yet.
I think that's a credit to Mike Young. I mean, Mike Young is one of the best, I think, X's and O coaches in the country in terms of the stuff that they run to get their shooters good looks. And I think the job that they did in player development to get Padula ready to be an everyday point guard this offseason, and also get guys like Darius Maddox to come along. I mean, those were spots where I think if you look nationally in college basketball, you'd say, okay, graduating point guard, graduating your best, one of your best shooters, let's go in the portal and replace it, right? And he said, look, I've got guys in my program that I can believe in and develop and get them ready. Like Sean Padula was not this guy last year. He showed some flashes, but the growth he has shown in the past year has been really impressive. And part of that's recruiting, but I think a lot of that is also the job that they do in player development and then running stuff to make sure those guys are comfortable. I mean, he's blossomed into one of the best point guards in the ACC, and that's a huge credit to the job that he does, and Mike Young does, in player development.
How many points did he average last? He averaged like 4 points last year.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, no, that's a big jump.